Howdy folks, this video that we've got today is the Dinosaur Trail. So the Dinosaur Trail, it's not a trail that the dinosaurs made. It's an area in central Queensland made up of a few towns that you can go and visit, and as you go around you look at different dinosaur locations of where they've discovered dinosaurs. It's a pretty cool little trip. So you start at Muttaburra, then you go up to Hughenden, from Hughenden to Richmond, and then down to Winton. Now there's not much at Muttaburra, the Muttaburrasaurus, you can go and have a look at that. Hughenden, they've got a museum there, but when we were there the museum was closed for renovations. Then Richmond, you go out to Richmond where they've got Kronosaurus Corner, where it's got a self-guided tour of a pretty cool little museum and a lab out there. Then you head to Winton, do Age of Dinosaurs and the Dinosaur Stampede. So, you know, you need to allow a couple of weeks to drive around and do it. It's a really good trip out in the bush, but if you want to just go and see some dinosaurs, probably head to Winton and spend a week or so in Winton and go out to the Age of Dinosaurs and the Dinosaur Stampede. So when we got to Hughenden, we discovered that the museum there was shut for renovations. So there wasn't a lot that we could do in town, so we headed out to a fantastic little camping spot called Porcupine Gorge. It's about 60 k's out of Hughenden, and it really is a spectacular little gorge, really nice. Definitely a trip out there is a must. Kronosaurus Corner at Richmond. It's the dinosaur museum and tour, self-guided tour around the museum. This is obviously the aquatic dinosaurs. So one of the great things about this is a self-guided tour, and they give you this little handset. You just put it up to your ear like what Jameso and Granny and Perns are doing down here. And you just go through into the display and you go here, number 2, and you press number 2 and it tells you all about it. So you can just walk around and it tells you everything. It's an awesome idea. Here we are in another section of Kronosaurus Corner. Another little part of the dinosaur museum. There. Nice. And then here we've got a gem. Look at this one here. It's a polycotydylid. It's a pretty cool specimen. Very cool. And here's the lab where they obviously pick through everything after they put plaster on it to get it out of the ground. So they put plaster all around it and then flip it over so they can transport it, and then they bring it back here and chip away at all the plaster and everything so they can come out with something pretty cool like this. Hopefully we'll get a chance to go and do a bit of fossicking. This dinosaur here is Matilda, and there's the foot and leg up to the pelvis up there. About a 20-ton dinosaur, 98 million years old. So this is an actual dinosaur trackway that was found on a cattle station after a flood, and it exposed it along the edge of a river, and they managed to dig it out and relocate it. So this is actual footprints of the sauropod, and the sauropod's the big long necked one. If you look down there in the middle, you can see a round circle with a lump in the middle of it. That's actually the back footprint apparently, which we've just learnt about from our guide up there. So this is the only remaining part of this track that's left, because unfortunately after surviving for 100 million years, a couple of floods since 2006 have wiped the whole thing out, and there's none left. This is it. This is as much as they got to save. So this is the little chicken-sized dinosaur that made those little footprints in there, which made the farmer realise that he had some footprints from some dinosaurs. So here's a couple of obviously replicas, and I believe this is of Banjo and Matilda, which is inside, and Matilda up the back is the sauropod, which is the one that made all the footprints inside. And Banjo, I've got no idea what sort of dinosaur he is because I can't remember. I can only remember the sauropod. Here's some more of the awesome rock formations around up here. They're really cool. They look great, all these rocks. So it's been a pretty interesting tour from Winton. Winton's definitely the best of the areas on the trail. Hughenden, it's not so bad. So Richmond, I had the good tour out there. Hughenden, the museum was shut unfortunately, and Muttaburra is not very much. A little Muttaburrasaurus and a bit of an information centre. If you want to do the trail, it's a good drive around. Good way to see a bit of the countryside. Starting at Muttaburra and going to Hughenden, Richmond, and down from Richmond down here to Winton and finish off in Winton. And then tomorrow we've got the Quarry Stampede, which I'm looking forward to. If it's not raining. If it's raining, the road will be shut and we won't get to do it. So they're predicting more rain. So hopefully we get to have a bit of a look at that. So we'll wait and see till tomorrow.
Well, last but not least, we have the Lark Quarry Dinosaur Stampede. So briefly, about 95 million years ago, there was about 150 dinosaurs down by this lake, made up of two different species. The carnivore coelosaurs, about the size of chickens, and a slightly larger plant-eating ornithopod, which was about as large as an emu. A huge meat-eating theropod, smaller than a tyrannosaurus, came down looking for a bit of lunch. He stalked the other dinosaurs, turned and charged. The stampeding herd of smaller dinosaurs left a chaotic mass of footprints in the mud as they ran to escape. Then it started to rain and the lope raised gently, covering the tracks with sandy sediments before the mud had dried enough to crack. The next flood then buried them below a metre of sand and a metre of mud, and over the years and years and years and years had compressed to form rock. The trackways were discovered in the 60s by a local station manager, and they still are today, as they were then, the only recorded evidence of a dinosaur stampede in the world. In 1976, a group of volunteers and the University of Queensland's paleontologists spent 18 months and uncovered the trackway. It was named Lark Quarry after Malcolm Lark, who was one of the volunteers who removed more rock than anyone else. The current site, unlike the other trackway, is actually where they found it. It hasn't been moved. So they built a building over the top of it, which was erected in 2002, and it was funded by the Queensland Heritage Trails Network. So definitely worth a trip out here. It's a bucket list, definite bucket list. It's awesome.
Oh well folks, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. So just a little bit of brief rundown on the Dinosaur Trail. So I'll put a map up of where we went. So we started at Hughenden, had a great little bush camp on the side of a river, went down to some hot pools, nice and relaxing in the hot pools. Then we went up to Muttaburra. From Muttaburra we went up to Hughenden. Hughenden we went out to Porcupine Gorge, which is a really, really cool campsite. It's like $6.80 or something a night. National Parks, Queensland National Parks. From there we went out to Richmond. From Richmond we went to Winton. Got stuck in Winton with floods. There's 262 roads closed in Winton, so we were stuck there for a week. And then we headed back home again. Took another week or so to get back home. So anyway, that's it, and see you on the next one.